So the Italian is one of the most common openings in chess. And by far, bar none, the most common subset of the Italian is knight to g5, right? This is where people are going for all those tricks and traps of knight takes f7, we enter the fried liver. I really don't know what it is. I don't know if people learn the game of chess and they search up how do I win with white, and then they see a video like beat a GM as a beginner or win 100% of the time with the Italian. And then that's how they get their opening repertoire. I really don't know, but I'm going to be pitching to you guys a sideline. So rather than taking, we're going to be looking at the Fritz variation that is knight to d4. Right, knight to d4 is very interesting, very uncommon. Have you guys seen it before? Most common here is knight to a5, where then they go bishop to b5, and okay, bishop to d7. I have a lot of respect for that line, but most people do this types of things, and then you deal with the pin variation, or the way the engine likes to play it, or the way Bobby Fischer likes to play it. And then if you're a little more seasoned, a little bit more of a veteran, you might be like, oh, I know about this b5. Yeah, but there's like 30 moves of theory, and everybody seems to know it nowadays. So knight to d4. Very few people are going to know about this. And black has a 38% win weight with this in the Masters database. So even though it's very uncommon, it has a good win weight. So play it. So knight to d4. What do? Really, their only good move is pawn to c3. Otherwise, if they don't test your position, you go h6, kicking the knight back. One thing you should know is if they go pawn to d6, opening up a discovery, do not be nervous about this, right? Their best move is actually pawn to d3 here, so they just gave up a pawn. If bishop takes, you're going to deflect and win a piece. Most people are going to go knight takes f7. It's been played 7 times in the Masters database and has lost every single time. So you are winning if they do that. So pawn to c3. Now pawn to b5. But it actually changes the dynamic largely, doing it prior to knight to d4 and after. Because it's a whole, right? It's a system of moving parts. Every position is different. I say it all the time, but it's true. It's a whole different ball game now for white. His only good move is bishop to f1. We will look at how this GM got crushed, playing the right moves. But first, let's look at if they take their knight, because maybe if you try it out, they'll take this. And let's just pause and look at these beauties. Look at these triple isolated gems on the d file. I've seen enough. You take the bishop, queen takes d5, and what ensues is a very interesting position that favors one guy, and it's the guy with the bishop pair. Who might that guy be? That's us. Pawn takes g7, bishop takes, you get the open board, everything you could possibly want. So it's a good thing to know. So bishop to f1, knight takes, you might be like, wait, what's going on? Did we blunder a knight? No, it's a trade. They don't even have d3, right? d3 loses to bishop to b4. It's another good thing to note. Two lines that they have here are bishop takes b5 or knight to c3. Really, you're going to have your king on d8 in a multitude of these variations, but it stands very safely. I mean, look, who's going to get to your king? Nobody. We're going to come for his king, though, and it's going to actually be his king that's less safe than ours, even though he castles and we don't. It's one of those positions. But in this game, we get knight to c3, we take on d4, and they take with check. Where does the king go? Goes to d8. The best move, the only move for white, is to go bishop to c6. If they play something of the sort, that is knight takes d5, you will just win the game. So common theme. It's not a poison pawn. You can take that one. Now I want you to think about how you would proceed with this position, because this is the critical moment of the game, of the line. I would also like to thank you guys for the support on last video. I am much more happy, I've realized, getting no views or 0 views, even though it got a couple hundred, so thank you. But I would rather, in principle, get 0 views and be my actual self than be like a milquetoast version, get a few thousand, because where's the fun in that, right? It's like LinkedIn. You act neutered, you act soft. Anybody who knows me knows that's not who I am. I'm not a big LinkedIn guy. So I will say what comes to mind. And yeah. Knight to f4. That's the move. Also, good comment. There will be a pawn endgame video coming out, or pawn game, right? Push captures takes. I think that's something of what I want to title it. So good comment by Ashton. But we are threatening the pawn here on g2. Their only move is to take, right? Of course, they cannot castle because they're just going to get mated. So they take, we take with check. And their only move is king f1, so I guess they're not going to castle. You might be like, what happens if bishop takes g2? I'm just trying to go through these lines so that you know that they are winning in case you try it out. I promise you, you're going to win this position, barring a mouse slip or blunder. You will win. If that says anything. If that's saying anything. But king to f1, what's the next move? Maybe you calculated it out a few moves ahead from prior. Bishop to h3. Boom. This king is locked in. d3, stopping you from going to d3, creating a discovery. But you create a discovery, and yours is a check. So yours actually gains a tempo, unlike theirs. Now, here's where you catch up on material, minus 2 pawns. Go for activity. Now, what would you play here as white? Don't lie. You play d4, right? Just like this grandmaster did. He plays pawn to d4, and now you are winning. Don't move the bishop. Use the momentum. Check. Discovery. Check. King d... on f4, rather. Queen g2. King d3 now. Now in the game, Cheparinov went queen to e4 and went on to win the game, although I believe he almost threw. Believe it or not. So find the forced mate here. That's where we'll end it. Queen to g3. If king c4, you swing your queen to the queen side where it needs to go. And if king d2, did you calculate this? Very good. Rook to e3, checkmate. It cannot be stopped. It can be delayed, but it can only be delayed. It will still be checkmate at the end of the day. So the Fritz variation, were you guys familiar? Were you not? Recommendations, what you guys want to be seeing next? Thank you as always for watching. Have a great day. Peace.